The Ukrainian Navy destroyed a Russian naval drone. This is the first such incident to be publicly reported. A unit of the Ukrainian Naval Forces detected an enemy unmanned naval craft in Ukrainian territorial waters in an area close to a civilian shipping route. Thanks to the coordinated actions of the Ukrainian Navy and the Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, the enemy target was quickly destroyed, the military said in a statement. The Navy press service also released a video of the drone's destruction. The military analysis portal Defense Express examined the released video and concluded that it is a new type of unmanned aerial vehicle, previously unseen. This is particularly evident in the distinctive superstructure at the rear of the unmanned boat, which likely houses a camera and communications systems. Disregarding the superstructure, it's a deck. It's quite flat. The drone is likely not large, although it's difficult to determine from the available footage. Judging by the rather powerful explosion, the drone was armed with a warhead, the publication writes. Experts also noted that before being destroyed, the drone was simply standing in one place. It's possible it was waiting for its target, or it simply malfunctioned. It's also possible it was targeted by electronic warfare systems, analysts note. According to analysts, the emergence of a new naval drone model, especially given the recent downing of the Ukrainian ship Simferopol in the Danube, indicates that the Russians are continuing to actively develop this type of weapon. However, the main problem for them is the lack of their own equivalent of the Starlink satellite communication system, which Ukrainian naval drones rely on. For Ukraine, this is a signal of the need to protect the entire port infrastructure, for example, with electronic warfare systems and boom barriers. It also highlights the need for means to detect and counter these drones, which are still far from the shore, Defense Express noted. As reported in late August, a Russian naval drone struck the Ukrainian reconnaissance boat Simferopol, which was stationed in a branch of the Danube estuary. Several sailors were injured and at least 2 were killed. Ukrainian officials have never publicly confirmed that the ship sank as a result of this attack, but the overall context of the statements suggests so. Military experts call this episode a new level of confrontation at sea. The fact is that certain predictions by military analysts and military engineers, unfortunately, has come true. That is, the enemy has reached a certain point where it has demonstrated in practice that it can use even. Serhiy Bratchuk, a representative of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army, said, according to him, Ukraine needs to counter what we have and work ahead of the curve. I want to emphasize that I believe we've reached a new level of confrontation in the Russian Black Sea at this juncture. We can't lose, and we won't lose, the gains we've made. Moreover, the Ministry of Defense's Main Intelligence Directorate has demonstrated that we have something to show for it again. We're attacking in the Sea of Azov. And today, and I emphasize today, it's an internal sea of the Russian Federation, Bratchuk emphasized. He explained that by attacking Russian ships in the Sea of Azov, the defense forces managed to overcome the obstacles and various barriers erected by the occupiers for protection. And in this context, the speaker noted, Novorossiysk, where the main units of the Russian Black Sea Fleet are currently based, looks interesting.
The most recent torrential rains in east-central Mexico, which have left at least 72 dead and dozens more missing, have raised questions again about the government's ability to alert people to severe weather in time. According to Associated Press, authorities continue to describe the days of torrential rain last week that set off landslides and river flooding as unpredictable. We're being more and more affected by these phenomena, and we can't go on like this, failing by not knowing what to do and not having adequate warning, said Christian Dominguez, a researcher at the Atmosphere and Climate Change Institute at Mexico's National Autonomous University. Dominguez recalled that last year's crises were drought-related and this year, it's the rain. It is a pending issue for Mexico and for countries with more resources and advanced technology like the United States, which experienced a devastating flash flood in Texas this year that killed at least 136 people. Experts say society and governments appear to be stuck in the past and have not accepted that severe weather is now the norm. But while she expressed willingness this week to review prevention protocols, she didn't mention climate change and insisted it was impossible to predict with precision how much rain was going to fall in some places. Dominguez recognized that Mexico does not have all of the instrumentation for things like measuring river levels in real time that could provide detailed hydrological forecasts or meteorological radar. There are only 4 in the country that allow meteorologists to make better forecasts. But she emphasized that even with the existing forecasts there could be much better prevention strategies if officials think not only of preparing for hurricanes, but also the possibility that the confluence of various weather systems, as occurred last week, has the potential to create a dangerous situation.
Estamos siendo cada vez más afectados por este tipo de fenómenos y no podemos seguir así fallando en no saber qué hacer y en no tener, digamos, estos alertamientos de manera oportuna, ¿no? Que mínimo con muchas horas de anticipación, un día antes, ya la gente se está organizando.
Entonces parecía que no se iba a inundar, pero de repente se desbordó y empezó a grandes velocidades.
El alertamiento de colapso del sistema meteorológico por el tema del pánico. Se informó a tiempo a los presidentes municipales a través del Sistema Nacional de Protección Civil de este incremento en el nivel del río Pánuco. Se atendió desde el principio, se avisó con el presidente municipal.
Pero aparte de dar los alertamientos, la población también debe de entender qué es lo que se le está diciendo y estar informado. Entonces, digamos que no le quito la responsabilidad a Protección Civil, pero también la población necesita pues ser educada en cuestión de riesgos o estar completamente informada.